Can a table stand up without its legs? Can a company survive without its employees? The general expectation is that the table will fall, and the company's value will diminish. But can collegiate athletic programs maintain their success without their athletes? Similar to the table and the company, both colleges and the National Collegiate Athletic Association, or NCAA, would suffer after losing the foundation of their power. The NCAA receives millions of dollars every year from events such as March Madness. Universities spend excessive amounts of money on athletic facilities. Yet, the players remain unpaid. Given their role in the success of college sports, student athletes should receive monetary compensation extending beyond scholarships. I, along with many others at LGHS, have been on a school sports team. The school allows me to showcase my talents on the field, and in return, I compete to augment the school's prestige. The college scenario is tremendously different. Yes, players do receive scholarships for tuition and other entrance fees. However, athletes do not simply demonstrate their abilities and play for pride, they garner substantial revenue as well. The NCAA's financial page reveals that their total revenue in 2015 was $912 million, most of which comes from TV contracts. As a whole, college sports programs annually generate about $6.1 billion from ticket sales, television receipts, and NCAA distributions, and $5.3 billion from student fees allocated to athletics. Athlete performance plays a large role in school revenue as TV contracts and ticket sales increase when players succeed. Still, the athletes earn absolutely nothing. Now, what do colleges do with the money they earn from sports? Instead of rewarding their athletes, they primarily invest in facilities and coaching staff. Reference site World Atlas lists 8 college football stadiums among the 10 largest in the world. The University of Michigan ranks 2nd overall, and they hand their coach $7 million per year. Both colleges and the NCAA are so eager to resist the question of any student-athlete payment, but neither hold qualms about spending lavishly on other resources. If arenas and coaches are worth spending cash on, why does the group directly responsible for a team's success deserve no compensation? One may believe that student-athletes will eventually recoup the withheld money through lucrative professional contracts. A clear fact is that not all players will become the Stephen Curry or Lionel Messi of their sport. However, the vast majority will not even come close. According to the NCAA's research department, only 1.6% of college football players actually make the NFL, and merely 1.1% of basketball players go on to the NBA. The statistics express the unfortunate truth. The bulk of athletes will fall short in their quest to reach the big leagues. In all likelihood, they will not make any money from playing their sport. The NCAA athlete situation is important for us to understand as we, as high schoolers, will deal with the predicament in some way in the near future. At colleges, student athletes will be among our peers, and a few of us may even become players. Thus, we need to acknowledge that our fellow classmates may not receive the treatment they deserve. A minority will advance to the professional leagues, but the presence of a few success stories does not qualify the practices of colleges and the NCAA as a whole. What will happen to the other student athletes? The NCAA should require colleges to allocate a certain percentage of their revenue towards student-athlete payment. Otherwise, players will continue to be victims of exploitation.
In today's society, professional athletes are viewed as competitors with drive and commitment. But what happens to those who can't make it to the big leagues? Do they pursue education, or has that window closed on them too? The fact of the matter is that NCAA athletes are labeled as student athletes, even though they are unable to fully take advantage of the educational opportunities they are given through scholarships due to the amount of practice hours they have to put in order to stay on the team. It is nearly impossible for an NCAA star to fully take advantage of both the college courses and sports scholarship. This means that one of the two has to be put aside, and if the student gained a scholarship for a sport, they are most likely to pursue that rather than education. Richard Sherman, who is an NFL cornerback for the Seattle Seahawks and a member of the 2012 Super Bowl winning team, has been vocal against the injustice that is the NCAA. Sherman has been quoted saying, "I don't think college athletes are given enough time to really take advantage of the free education that they are given." Richard Sherman is a potential Hall of Famer and has received numerous accolades, yet he still finds it valuable to assess the issues within the college sports system. He finds it impossible for a regular student to have to deal with the rigor that comes with being a student athlete. With packed schedules and constant traveling in a year-long season, education seems like an afterthought. When the only time to start working on schoolwork comes within a 2-hour period after an intense workout, it will be hard for anybody to be able to understand the information necessary to do well on the next day's tests. The only option is to sacrifice the value of education and pursue sports full-time. For many, this came with terrible results. The story of Isaiah Austin serves as a cautionary tale. Austin was once a potential first-round NBA draft pick until it was discovered that he had Marfan syndrome, which is a disease that increases the risk of an artery rupture. After putting in countless hours and dedicating his life to the sport of basketball just to fall short from making the big leagues, Austin had nothing to fall back on since his college days were spent playing basketball instead of studying. This case has been repeated many times over the years, and with advocates rising, change will hopefully be made soon in the system. For athletes unable to pursue their sport, a strong educational background is necessary. The difficulties behind the sports scene make it difficult for a student to fully use their education that's given. Thus, they should be compensated for their efforts.